hitching post of gravity. And there's another elastic band on the other side pulling it back. It's gone away, extended as far away as it can. The energy bar to extend it is expended. And when it's expended, it has to return what it is borrowed. Let these represent different bodies in space. Let me say this is the Earth over here and this is the Sun. Every one of these bodies in space is in absolute balance with every other body. That balance cannot vary even by 1/1,000,000 of a milligram anywhere in the entirety of the whole universe. Its balance is so perfect that the slightest unbalance is going to be remedied at once, remedied before it began. And so, that everywhere in space, wherever there are bodies in space, they're interchanging their potentials with each other to keep that balance. The radiation of one body reaches out and strikes every other body. We're familiar with the radiation of the sun, but we're not familiar with the countless other means of adjusting the balance of the universe until they get down to such a fine point that which we call the cosmic ray is one of the generators of nature which is keeping this earth and other things in balance. Now everything that approaches the earth generates the earth. That is, it adds to its life duration. It charges the earth with its potential. And when there is an overcharge of the earth by an excessive radiation from the sun, such as I described in the lecture yesterday, coming from sunspots, there's an equivalent discharge of the earth to keep that in balance. The motion is around that always, spiraling. As I explained to you yesterday, as a tree grows in its motion around it, if you go and look at the tree, you'll find that find spiral lines which grow just like this. Instead of the great spiral of its beginning, you'll find that it's registered out here in the spiral lines. Nothing can go away from the earth in a direct radial line between gravity and gravity. You can only spiral east west around it in any way, and so that the heat rays coming from the earth, from the sun to the earth, or from any other planet to the earth, in interchanging, have got to take their spiral journeys around gravity between centers of gravity. You have frequently mentioned about the time when our Earth gets out to where Neptune is. Does that mean that the orbit of our Earth around the Sun is gradually increasing? That is, that we are not traveling around the Sun in a circle, but in an ever-increasing spiral. Are we a few miles further away from the Sun each year, according to this? Our Earth is not traveling in circles around the Sun, is traveling in ellipses around the Sun. This is the Sun's equator, where the planets are born upon that equator. And they would all be born upon that equator if the Sun was a true circle, but it's not quite a true sphere, not quite a true sphere. So the planets that are born come off of that equator like this, so that Mercury is here and there and Venus is here and Earth is out here. 23 degrees removed from this direction. The Earth is moving on its axis in such a way that is wobbling this way, like the top, to such an extent that the axis that points toward the North Star right now will, in 3,000 or 4,000 years, point to another star, and to another star, and to another star. We'll always have a change in our North Star. So that at the time they built the pyramids, for instance, they built a passage pointing to the North Star. It doesn't point to that North Star anymore. That North Star is over here, where it's pointing now, it's over here. And that change of that, because of that wobbling, that we call the precession of the equinox, that slow wobbling is only one turn in 27,000 years. Now, just that one turn in 27,000 years is a whole lot of time. And in doing that 27,000 years, this Earth may not have moved to a point where our days are changed by more than 1 minute. Or probably not that. So we have a long, long time to think things over. Will this increasing or in the shortening or lengthening of our days? Our days get shorter and our years longer. As the Earth moves away from the sun, it turns faster. It oblates, that is, it crushes down at its poles and lengthens at its equator. And it spins fast. Ability to circle around its primary when it gets to 90 degrees. And it will leave the solar system as comets always do, and the sun will become its primary. Our moon will do likewise. Our moon is circling around our Earth. But when it gets up to the point where it's 90 degrees from the equator, it will no longer be in the solar system orbit.